Hi guys, and welcome back to the Aspiring Home Cook. My name is Trisha, and in today's video I'm going to whip up a batch of pesto for you. Most of the pesto that you find in local stores will have some amount of dairy in the form of Parmesan cheese and such. So for me, the next best thing was to whip up a batch of pesto right here in my kitchen. I'm going to show you how I put together a really quick meal with some store-bought cauliflower gnocchi and this homemade pesto. Now this is some of the basil that I just harvested from my backyard, and I'm going to start off by picking those leaves off the stalks. Discard any leaves that are worse for wear. What I have here is 2 cups of basil leaves, and I'm just going to pop those leaves in my food processor. Now to this I'm going to add 2 cloves of garlic. I just roughly chop them because it makes it easier to blend in the pesto or any sauce that you're making. Now, to replace the Parmesan cheese that is typically used in a pesto, I'm going to use some nutritional yeast. In my video where I shared with you my vegan replacement for Parmesan cheese, I had a lot of requests asking me to share what kind of nutritional yeast I use. The one I'm using at the moment is just this little packet from Walnuts. So I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of the nutritional yeast to my food processor. Now, a pesto recipe typically uses pine nuts. Pine nuts are really expensive here, so I'm going to replace those pine nuts with a 1/4 cup of walnuts. Walnuts are really healthy for you too, so it's a great addition to the pesto. I'm going to add the juice of a 1/4 of a lime. You can of course adjust this quantity to suit your preference. Season with a little salt and pepper to taste, and we're going to blitz this up. Now with the food processor running, I'm going to add in olive oil in 2 lots. I'm going to start off with about 1/8 of a cup of olive oil, and I'm just going to drizzle that through. Once that olive oil has mixed through, it's a good idea to scrape down the sides just to incorporate any of the larger chunks that might have stuck to the edges. And with the food processor running again, I'm going to add in another 1/8 of a cup of olive oil. So in all, I've added about a 1/4 cup's worth of olive oil. And you're going to blitz everything till it comes together to form a nice paste like this. I've left mine a little chunky, and that's fine. If you're using the pesto immediately, you can use a little bit of water. I'm talking about just a spoon or so to get everything going if your food processor or mixer is having any trouble blending that up. Our pesto is ready. Today I'm using this cauliflower gnocchi that I found at my local Costco outlet. Now the ingredient list on this is also pretty straightforward, and that's another thing that I like about it. Now, one tip for you is I wouldn't recommend doing the initial cooking in a pan. I've tried that a couple of times, and no matter what I do, it ends up a big stodgy mess. The best way to prep this gnocchi is to use an air fryer. If you've had any luck cooking this gnocchi on a stovetop, leave me a comment and let me know. I'd love to hear about it. So I start off with a light spritz of olive oil just to prevent the gnocchi from sticking, and then I'm going to pour in as much gnocchi as we need for this meal in a single layer. Break up any large clumps that you might see like this and space them out evenly. Go over that with another light spray of olive oil, and this cooks off at 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. I put my timer on for 5 minutes, and once that's done, I give everything a light toss just to make sure I get browning on both sides and get it going for another 5 minutes again. Once that's all done, this is what the gnocchi will look like. Sorry, I lost a little footage of me transferring the gnocchi into a pan. All I've done is I've drizzled a tiny bit of olive oil on the pan, placed the gnocchi in it, and I'm going to top off that gnocchi with a little bit of the pesto that we just made. Now I've got this pan on a medium heat. You can of course just simply toss the pesto and the gnocchi in a little bowl as well, but my husband enjoys this lightly warmed, so that's what I'm doing over here. I'm just going to toss that pesto through, and this has literally been in the pan for under a minute, I'd say, and we're going to boost all of that flavor with a little of our homemade vegan Parmesan. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'll leave a link to that video right here for you. And that's literally it. Your gnocchi is ready. I've served that up with another light sprinkling of our vegan parmesan and a couple of pieces of garlic bread. This turned out to be such a delicious meal. I highly recommend making something like this, especially if you're looking at getting a meal on the table in a hurry. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was a quick, easy and simple recipe like a lot of the other recipes on my channel. Go ahead and check them out and I'm sure you'll be able to take away a little inspiration for your meal ideas. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with family and friends that you think will enjoy it too. If you happen to try today's recipe or any of our other recipes, please share a picture on Instagram, tag us at The Aspiring Home Cook. I really enjoy looking through your creations. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye now.